If you remember, to renovate this strawberry bed, we mowed off the leaves and then narrowed the bed down with the rototiller to leave just a 6 to 8 inch strip of plants. Now, we started to come over here to show this to you yesterday, but we got chased out by a thunderstorm. But we're back again today, and for those of you who are certain that I had killed this bed by rototilling, just want to show you our 6 to 8 inch strip going down the middle. Each of the crowns is starting to send up some new leaves, some of them quite large leaves, and within the matter of another week, we'll have some nice big husky plants, and within a few weeks, they're going to start sending out runners and start filling in our bed again. And also, as I said, even though we've tilled the sides, there's a few plants that have survived that. All of these plants that come up in the tilled area are weeds. Get rid of them. Either come through and till again, get them with a hoe, hand pulling, whatever you need to do to get rid of them. You only want to leave plants in your 6 to 8 inch strip and get rid of all of the others. Now let's take a look at our fall planted strawberries. This is our newer strawberry patch. If you remember, this larger row here was the one that we actually got planted when it should have, in the beginning of October. These two went in late November. As you can still see a definite difference in the height and in the vigor. These late planted strawberries, this is probably about what spring planted strawberries would look like. So late fall planting, again, doesn't really hold any advantage over spring planting. If you want to go in with fall planting, make certain you get them in early enough, sometime end of September, early October. Now, also keep in mind, we put in our plants quite thickly, especially in the back where we haven't lost any plants, just because we had the extra plants available. You only need to set a plant every 18 to 24 inches to have it fill in. So just remember, you don't need to put them in this thick. That was just because we had the plants available. And you can also notice they're starting to send out their runners to fill in the bed. The other thing you'll notice is that most of these runners seem to be going along the row. There's no particular reason for that. They just kind of happen to go that way. If we just left them to their own devices, they would eventually, just by random, fill in the proper bed. But we can do a lot to help fill in this bed quickly by coming in and hand spacing our runners. Now this is a good example of how the bed fills in. We've got the runner plant, runners come out and it started to form a little plant. That little runner plant, daughter plant, is already sending out the runner and has got a new plant forming on the end. So this is how you can see, as this goes through the season, how quickly these can fill in. Now you don't want to bury that little daughter plant too deeply, but what you can do is just put a little mound of soil over the runner to keep it in place. And then we'll take this other side, do the same thing. You can hold them down with little metal pins. If you have some small rocks in your garden and in your soil, you can just lay a rock. This is just to keep the wind from blowing it around. Now these early runner plants they're quite important, because when we get into the late summer, fall season, when the flowers are forming, it's these early formed runner plants that are going to be the biggest, and they're going to form the most flowers and have the most production. So the earlier that you can get your runner plants established, the larger they will be in the fall, the better production you're going to get. So take some time to take care of these first runners, get them spread out properly to increase your chances of a good crop next year. Also, you'll notice the top is a little bit dry. It's nice and moist underneath. These runner plants, you'll notice just the beginnings of the roots starting on the bottom. These roots have to grow down through the soil to get down to the moisture. If you allow the soil to dry out too much or form a hard crust, you decrease the likelihood of rapid establishment of these plants. So make certain to keep your strawberry planting watered so these strawberry plants, these daughter plants, can establish quickly. If it gets too dry, they won't establish well, and you won't have a good matted row at the end of the season. It's very important, this early summer and summer care, in order to get a good next year's crop. If you've got some